I'm here walking on a main street in Sevilla, Spain, and I thought I would kind of just document some of the things I'm seeing, since I'll probably forget a lot of it when I go back. So there's graffiti everywhere, which reminds me of Germany. So let's see, back this way, I was taking pictures of graffiti, and so I have those in my photos. There's also a bike path. So not along this street right here, but on some of the other streets there's a bike path where you can bike, scooter, anything that's faster than just regular pedestrian traffic. And then they have, sidewalks everywhere. See people biking over there, someone on a scooter, a lot of motorcycles, mopeds. There's a lot of different ways to get around, and they keep it really clean. So I was taking pictures of these receptacles they use for trash and recycling, and they have them pretty well labeled, and they're pretty much everywhere on the street and also in the train station. Let's see. Traffic is pretty friendly to pedestrians, I would say, and you do have to pay attention to when you're walking across any of the bike lanes, because they do go pretty fast. And once the walk signal starts blinking, it'll blink about 3 times, and then you better get out of the intersection. But one time it turned red on me, and then I just ran, and they waited, so nobody ran me over. But yeah, cafes everywhere, and a lot of white buildings, or like beige or more muted colors like pinks and oranges and yellows. Yeah, there's you're not going to go hungry over here. The prices are really cheap. Like, if you want to get a tapas, which is a small plate, it's usually like around $3 or €3. It's not really customary to tip. I can watch some of the traffic. I've talked to several Europeans about that. I was just talking to a server here when I had brunch. I had 2 small plates, and I think it was an espresso in a really cute cup, and it was €7.70. I don't know if they say cents or something else, but like, that's McDonald's for breakfast if you get a combo meal. And it was a seafood salad with like eggs and potatoes and some seafood, and then there was I think it was called an omelet skewer. It was kind of like a quiche with a little dollop of some kind of flavored mayo. I couldn't quite figure out what the taste was, because there are different flavors and foods over here that I have never tried before. And it was gourmet. It was all so good and well presented, and literally €7.70 for all of that. That was a brunch. I could have gotten by on one of the plates for €3, and the coffees are usually €1 to €2. Even a beer is €1 to €2. I saved a receipt, for proof. I've been taking pictures of menus as well, but and going into the grocery store, I'll have to look around a little bit more, because we haven't really had time to do much grocery shopping, but you could get a carton of milk for about €1. And I'll have to look more at the prices. But transportation, so the trains are going to be free. You have to, I think, apply for a pass or something like that. And you might need to be a resident of Spain, so I'll find out more information about that. But I think right now they're about €6 a ticket. I have to check, but it's roughly around there. I don't know what the bus price is. I think it's about €1.50. Imani took the bus for the first time today. You do have to wear a mask. It's required on trains and buses. So we went to the bus stop, and I had forgotten my mask on the nightstand because I was trying to get out the door, and then I couldn't get on the bus. But Imani has data on her phone now. Our wireless plan has not been very good, so I still do not have roaming data, and I can only use internet if I'm on Wi-Fi. So usually that is back at our Airbnb, because a lot of places do not have complimentary Wi-Fi whenever I've asked. Let's see. Trains, a lot of people take the train. Like, we walk to the bus station, and you can buy a train ticket at a kiosk type thing, kind of like what we have at the light rail station in Minneapolis. And then it's good for, I think, a certain time. I think you book you select a certain time anyways. And so you punch in your information. Imani's been doing that, so I'm not exactly totally sure, but then you, I think, have 2 hours to use the first ticket. I have to double check, but I think you have a certain amount of time to use the first ticket, but then your return ticket can be, I think, anytime the rest of the day. Something to that effect. Let's see. There's a lot of people who smoke here, and it's pretty acceptable. A lot of people walking their dogs on the street, just like pretty much anywhere else. I have seen people take their dogs into businesses, so it seems like there's a little more freedom that way. I haven't seen a lot of big dogs, they're mostly small ones. People are out and about, even late at night. We were out walking around last night around 10 p.m. I think we may have gotten back. Yeah, probably around 10-ish. And kids are out playing at the playground, playing basketball or ball or whatever it was. Riding around on their bikes. Families are out. People are pushing their babies, walking their dogs. Just really active. There's people out constantly. It feels very safe. We have been pretty much all over Sevilla in the main areas. We're close to the city center. And no issues. I've seen a couple people begging for money, which of course you're going to expect that, and they just don't seem to have as much of it here because I think in Europe maybe they don't have as much of a problem with that because of different systems, but I'm not sure. I need to learn more about that, but that's basically what I've heard from people who live here. But yeah, I did see someone sitting outside the grocery store asking if basically, he said no dinero, he didn't want money, but he said comer. He wanted comer for dos niños. He has 2 kids. So I went in and I was like, okay. I tried to explain I don't really speak much Spanish. I gestured to have him come with me, and then he picked out like bread, and I think it might have been some sausage, and a couple things of juice, and like basically a couple of bags of groceries, and it was only 10 euros. So I'd be curious to know more about his story. Then I was talking to him a little bit more, asked if he had azúcar, which is sugar, but I was trying to explain like if the kids wanted a treat or something like that. So I told him to come back in with me, but he said he kind of just like gestured that I should just go back in, and he said I could get leche and Asia, I think it was. Asia is olive oil and leche is milk, so I went in and got that stuff. It was only a few euros. Like, I think I got 2 things of milk and a bottle of olive oil for like 6 euros. So yeah. Anyways, I don't want to run out of battery because okay, so my wireless plan, I've called them several times. I still have yet to get roaming data, and also my phone is dying, so I have to have a battery pack with me. Couple things if you travel over here. There's flies buzzing around me all the time. Bring outlet adapters. I can't remember what type mine are, but I've been bringing those with me when I've traveled to Europe. I think it was just off Amazon or something, like a little box of 3 outlet adapters, so you can plug your plugs into it and then plug into theirs. Like, they have like these little 2-prong outlets. So basically your electrical items, like your phone chargers and hair dryers and curling irons and whatever you need to plug in that you normally would, you can plug in with those adapters, no problem. I would also bring a battery pack and a water bottle. By battery pack, I mean like a rechargeable little battery pack that you can plug your phone into. If you don't know what that is, you could probably just go to Target and find one. pretty much anywhere. And I brought a water bottle because I fill up my water a lot. Not every place gives you free water, so if you bring your water with you, that helps. Although the water here is super cheap. You can get for €1, you can get a bottle of water. And the euro and the dollar are pretty comparable. I guess the exchange rate is good right now. There are not a lot of places to use the bathroom, so I try to make sure I don't drink too much of anything when I'm out. I mean, there are places that have a bathroom you can use. In Germany, it seems like a lot of times you have to pay to use the bathroom, but it's not like in the US where you can just stop at a gas station very easily. And also, if you're on the train, there's no bathroom, or the bus, of course, just like anywhere. Train stations do have bathrooms. They don't always have toilet paper in the smaller ones. Like in this village we've been going to, they run out of paper. Let's see, what else? People are really friendly. I was kind of wondering how people would react to Imani walking around with a crutch. People have been very cool and not made any kind of issue of it. Like, nobody is. I haven't noticed anyone like staring at her or making any comments or anything. The kids at the school have, I think one kid asked her. That's normal. Kids ask questions. That's fine. They're just curious. But yeah. So, and then like for me, walking around, being a big girl, and everyone here, they walk so much. Like, there's still bigger people, but there's, you know. It does seem like people maybe are not as big over here, and I don't know if it's just because, yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of overweight people, but I feel as someone who is very overweight, I don't feel like I stand out or like anyone thinks of it as any kind of a problem. So I kind of just think about like how if we have better urban planning, like more walkable cities, more accessible spaces, and all of that, I just feel like there's more of a sense of community and togetherness, because like here everyone's out and about as a community all day, every day. And that's like one thing I like about where I live in South Minneapolis is people are out and about, you know, you're not necessarily as car dependent. Yes, there's a lot of cars here too, but I just feel like those kinds of spaces are good for health, and you know, size is not, you can be healthy at any size, but like, I don't know how to explain that, but basically, you know, if people are able to be more active, it does help with weight. And I'm saying that as a big person. I fully understand, like, I'm not going to go off on a whole tangent about that, but like, that could be a whole other video, but my arm is getting sore. This video is getting a little long. Anyway, so maybe I'll just stop right there since I think I need to walk back and save some battery. I'll try to do some more videos. I took a bunch of them on the train. I love the scenery on the trains, looking at different places we passed through. They have I noticed some gardens here like they have in Germany. The Germans love to have their gardens, or they call it Garten. They spend their free time sometimes going to the garden. They might have like a little shed or something there, a little like a small building, small little like shack or whatever you want to call it, where you can go inside, or it might just be a plot of land with, you know, whatever you've planted, your food, probably for the most part. But yeah, that's a whole culture in Germany. I did see some of that on the train. Yeah, I'm gonna keep walking. So that's just kind of a download of some stuff. We've been super busy because we go to the school every day, we get up early, you know, we have to make sure we have enough time for walking and also allowing for getting lost and, you know, having to redirect somewhere else. But I think we're pretty good on finding the train station now. It takes time to get up and go and walk there. Then once you get there, you go in, find your ticket, get your ticket, then you go find your platform or like whatever rail you're on, they're numbered. Then the train can take, for us it takes like, up to an hour each way. Going home is quicker because you already have your ticket and you just have to wait for your train depending on when it runs. And then of course walking back, and then being at the school for a half day, and then I find something to do, which has been interesting. I've done a little exploring on my own, and then we've had a bunch of stuff we've had to do, just like looking for housing and a lot of just putting things together. So it's honestly been really busy. Today is a national holiday, Hispanics Day, Hispanidad, and so a lot of people have the day off. The schools are closed. Unfortunately, they still teach about Christopher Columbus discovering America, which is, we've, I think, started to realize he was a very problematic and violent person who basically invaded the country, and this country, the U.S., was discovered thousands of years prior and inhabited by American Indians, Native Americans, tribal nations, several words you can use. So Christopher Columbus didn't discover anything. So basically he was one of the first colonizers, so I don't know. I hope that eventually people will become more aware and recognize Indigenous Peoples Day. Me as an Indigenous Arctic European, Sami, my daughter being Sami also, of course, and Mexican and Aztec. I'm connected with a lot of fabulous people from Indian country and Indigenous backgrounds, when the teacher talked about that in the class the other day, I just kind of I did not say anything. Okay, long rambling video, but so today we could sleep in a little bit. We didn't have to like rush off to the train station. This weekend we will have a couple days off, so it's just been really, really busy. Plus, traveling was really, really hard. We were basically up for 2 days with really almost no sleep, like maybe 4 hours total over 2 days. So one night we got like 3 hours of sleep. The next night we really didn't get any sleep. We were on an overnight flight, and I couldn't sleep. I was super anxious, and I could have used some kind of drug to knock me out. But it's very overwhelming. And then our phone's not working, so we can't use like GPS to walk around. We have to like screenshot stuff, but then if you get lost, then your directions are no good. We ask people on the street. I barely speak any Spanish. I did study Spanish for a year in college, but I don't remember much, so I didn't have time to like refresh much Spanish before we came here because we had so much to do. Like with moving Imani back from St. Cloud, that took about a week, including one day with a moving truck, a U-Haul, and then other days going back, packing and moving what would fit in my Jeep. And then all the preparations for coming over here. Just all kinds of extra things like, your to-do list, what you do when you run errands, like, go renew your state ID. Something she had to do when she moved back to Minneapolis. It was going to expire like around the time she was due to come back. So we had to go get that done so she would have one when she comes back. Figuring out our phones because my phone is dying. And I was like, well, if it goes black on me while I'm over there, then I'm screwed. I mean, I'm sure I could find a phone somewhere, but I don't know the country or anything. So I would definitely be in a bit of trouble, at least temporarily. And just so much stuff, trying to figure out all of our paperwork, go through all of our mail, make all of our phone calls, try to figure out student loan forgiveness, which I think we're going to just have to wait and do. Health insurance stuff, income stuff, wrapping up the layoff, canceling internet, going to the wireless store, and had to go out there a couple times and return all the equipment, and apartment walkthrough and cleaning that, and it was just a lot. And plus I'm trying to look for a job and do stuff that I'm required to do with the Dislocated Workers Program. Like, I'm still applying for jobs out here. I have an interview tomorrow, and I have had some phone meetings. I tried to do one with the Disability Caucus, but I had issues with my Zoom, and some of the websites over here don't connect. So I've had some technical issues with not even being able to make certain phone calls. But and then my Indeed account where I'm applying for jobs, if I just go onto the account or on the app, it's all in Spanish, and it's pulling up jobs in Spain. But I'm still getting emails from there, so when I click on the email, then I can read everything in English. So yeah, it's just a lot of different little things that you wouldn't expect. So I love being over here. Don't get me wrong, I love being over here. I think this is a culture I could definitely fit in with. People are amazing. I want to learn more of the language. I have been picking up lots of words since I've been here, but to be able to actually put words together for a conversation, it'll take a while. We're moving into the apartment on Friday, so today's Wednesday, so that's in 2 days. That's good. We can wash our clothes. We've just been hand washing stuff. Our Airbnb doesn't have a washer for use, and we haven't had time to get any groceries. So moving on Friday should be good. We can get some groceries, wash our clothes. I'm not complaining, believe me, but yeah, it'll be nice to get a few things settled. And for Imani to have less stress on her, because it's new country, new job, new everything, new transportation, all new people, making sure she is doing everything to start off on the right foot at her job at the school, teaching the kids. The director has been really nice, but she's kind of intense. And on the first day we were 2 hours late. On the second day we were 5 minutes late, and she said, "You cannot be late every day." I'm like, well, I think, or maybe it was 15 minutes late, I don't know, we were barely late. It was basically on time for us. And I'm like, that's a big improvement though over being 2 hours late. So maybe just give this girl a little bit of time to get settled. And because she was a week late because she had to wait on her visa, she normally would work 4 days a week, but she's going to have to make up the lost time from the first week, so she has to make up 4 Fridays. So the next 4 Fridays she'll be working, so the first month is going to be kind of a lot, but then she'll be working 4 days a week, 4 hours a day. The commute is very long, but she'll get that into a routine, and maybe she could even stay in her village a couple days a week so she doesn't have to commute every single day, maybe just commute a couple days a week. But we'll see what happens, because the director said she could stay with her. Mi casa es su casa, and she said they could also do some fun things and activities, and that she's welcome. And she also lives with her elderly mom, so maybe they could sit and visit, and she could learn something from those conversations. And now there's also a lot of taxis here. We took a taxi to the Airbnb when we first got here. Airbnb host is an absolute gem. Said Imani can call her anytime, because we've been asking her and Imani's friend who lives here about the neighborhood where she found the apartment. At first they were saying oh, that's not a really good neighborhood, it used to be really rough in the 80s. But we've been asking around, doing our research. We went there last night. It should be fine. Last night there was I was saying, there was people out and about till 10 o'clock at night. Still, when we left, people out at cafes. There's cafes everywhere, so it feels like there's always people around. We ended up on a street that was super quiet, and we're like, wow, this is really quiet, like too quiet. I think it was more of a residential and business area. But yeah, we're close to a lot. I think she's going to have a great experience. I'm glad she's here. I'm glad I could come with her so I could kind of see what the whole situation is over here. And I do feel comfortable with her staying here. She will have a roommate. I like the roommate. I think they're a good match. The roommate lived here before as an au pair, so that's good. And she seems like she's got a good head on her shoulders too. I really like the landlord. He's a German guy. He's done everything like very organized, very honest, like very trustworthy. So I think things are falling into place. It's just there's a lot of pressure because you have to have permanent housing for the type of visa she has. She has to apply for an extension within 90 days, and she has to have permanent housing and a Spanish phone number and all these things, and they have to be stable. So you can't be messing around with like an iffy living situation and then having to move because that could affect your visa. So it's a lot of interesting things. So I'll do another video update later. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be here. I booked a one-way flight just so I could be here until it was a good time for me to leave, instead of, okay, I'm going to bounce even though like you still need me for a few more days or another week. Anyways, it's a beautiful day. It's been very hot and sweaty. Another reason to have your water bottle with you. Yeah, I'm gonna start walking back since I don't have GPS on my phone right now. Although the little like icon thingy that shows where you are, that has been working on my phone now. It wasn't before, so I can kind of see if I'm going in the right direction. But I don't know because I can't pull up the address. So I just walked in a straight line down this avenue so I could find my way back because I know the area of the Airbnb now. And yeah, I went exploring, took pictures, taking pictures of everything. They put garbage cans in the leg, and there's some people using wheelchairs, so it seems like I've noticed a lot of people with crutches and different types of wheelchairs, power chairs, manual chairs. Seems like it's pretty accessible. I don't notice audio on the crosswalks, but I do notice the bumps on the curb cut where you can feel that you're at the curb cut intersection. So anyways, I'm going to keep making more observations, but yeah, the people are really cool and I love it here. So I think this is going to be a great cultural experience. Thanks for listening. Ciao.